Hello and welcome to the Weather Hazard Briefing presented by National Weather Service Pocatello for Saturday, August 31st, last day of August. Here's what you'll see in this presentation. The high pressure will keep conditions very dry and nearly calm, and that will only last, though, for a couple more nights through Sunday night. Temperatures will warm 9 to 13 degrees above Fahrenheit, above normal for the weekend. Expect air quality issues in Custer and Blaine counties to be actually fairly serious, and some other counties are being affected today as well. We'll take a look at that first. Next low will arrive on Labor Day. We are looking for it only to be slightly cooler temperatures. There is a chance of rain and a slight chance of thunderstorms with this low and associated cold front. However, we are expecting it to be light rain at most, with maybe some locally heavier amounts that would be what we consider wetting rains. And the winds should be gusty on Labor Day, but only into the 20 to 25 mile an hour range, which shows that this is a fairly weak low and cold front. So first we'll start off with the air quality, because that is for today. I will start out in the southeast corner with Oneida, Franklin, and Bear Lake counties down here. And they are looking at unhealthy for sensitive groups for today, but it should moderate by tomorrow to moderate. Elsewhere, Lincoln and Minidoka counties here are looking at unhealthy today, but clearing out tomorrow to moderate, and the same for Blaine County. Unhealthy, actually very unhealthy today, but that should moderate tomorrow, and by Monday they should be moderate. Custer County, because the fires are pretty close to that source there in western Custer County, is going to stay very unhealthful today for everybody, and it might moderate by Monday to just unhealthy. Alright, so here's a satellite image showing the very clear sky, so you don't even really see the low yet showing up. Just the coastal fog here along the California-Oregon coast, and even that's not very thick. Alright, so here's our weather risk table. Again, the first couple of days, we're just looking at low humidities. That is below the 15% critical threshold. Then the southeast highlands, there is a slight chance of some nighttime shower activity there and in the South Hills, but it is just slight chance. We'll take a look at that in detail. On Monday, that's when the low and cold front arrive. You can see most locations have just, all locations have a chance of showers, some all day, some just in the afternoon. And then those boxes in yellow actually have a solid chance of thunderstorms. That would be scattered thunderstorm coverage. That is 25 to 55%. The ones that are still green just have a slight chance of thunderstorms. That would be in the range of 15 to 25%. On Tuesday, it's all reduced. If they have any thunderstorms at all, it's just a slight chance. And really, it's just along the border with Wyoming where it stays a chance of afternoon showers. Elsewhere, it is most likely to be slight chance, with the exception of Lemhi County, also along the Montana border. There's a chance of showers there, and you can see it definitely tails off on Wednesday. A few places still having a chance of showers and afternoon showers, but a lot of places being clear, especially in the Magic Valley, Southern Hills, Wood River, and Sawtooth areas should be nice. All right, so here's what we have today. You can see the high pressure in control over central and eastern Idaho. This is the outlook for what's going to be happening with the areas in blue, which will be hazy, and the areas shaded in white. That will be where the smoke will be heaviest here over the next 24 hours. And that would be areas of smoke. And that's areas of haze or localized haze in the blue shading. And wherever you see the pink shading or the 0, that means we aren't expecting much in the way of significant weather. All right, so the high temperatures today, you can see we are warming. Some 90-degree contours are starting to show up, especially in the eastern Magic Valley. But middle 80s for even the north end of the Snake River Plain. And you can see this forecast for minimum humidities today is not as critical as it was yesterday for today. There are still some single digits, but nowhere near the coverage. We are expecting the Arco Desert to stay in that 10 to 15% range. And then the low temperatures tonight, you can see getting down into the upper 30s for Stanley Basin, usually one of our colder areas. And you can see the humidity starting to recover in especially the extreme eastern side of our forecast area, but still some very poor recoveries over the central Idaho mountains where all the fires are going. This means that the fire does not get a chance to die down during the overnight hours. It continues to burn and be very intense. Then on Sunday, with the high still in control, you can see here temperatures, the 90-degree contours are actually making it up as far as Pocatello and even into the Arco Desert. Idaho Falls actually 89, very close. You can see the relative humidities do fall a little bit, but still they sort of even out. You don't see any single digits with the exception of over the Craters of the Moon area and then in Lemhi County and in the Chalice Basin. Okay, so we're starting to see a risk of showers returning. You can see in the extreme southwest corner of our forecast area, there's a slight chance of rain. And you can see the thunderstorm risk is actually a slight chance, and that is actually infiltrating all the way into the southeast highlands, so to speak, but mostly in the South Hills. And then after midnight on Sunday night, you can see there's the risk of precipitation actually diminishes, but the chance of some dry thunderstorms actually expands northward into the Wood River Basin and even almost into the Stanley Basin, where it's at 10%, which really isn't much. It's the 10 to 20 where you're going to get what we call the slight chance risk. Okay, the low temperatures finally for tomorrow night, Sunday night. We are looking with the cloud cover a lot more mild. You can see Stanley 3 degrees warmer at 41 degrees, hardly any 30s around, with the exception of areas north of Ashton. And even Pocatello will stay a mild 60 degrees. And you can see the humidity does fall because the temperature stays so mild. And here's why. Here's Monday. You can see the cold front at 8 a.m. will be just approaching the Oregon-Idaho border at that time, and it will be spreading rain and thunderstorms throughout the entire state. So here's what it'll look like Monday morning. On the left, you can see the risk of rainfall. It's mostly a slight chance with some areas of chance up there in the Sawtooth. But you can see still it's a 10 to 20% chance. It has expanded to the east and to the north more, but it's still a slight chance during the morning. Here we get into the Monday afternoon. You can see the precipitation intensifies, and it pretty much there's a slight chance even in places like Ashton, Idaho Falls, and it's actually likely in places like Mackay and Oakley. And the risk of thunderstorms are some areas where it's popping up to what we would call scattered criteria, which is about 30% coverage in Chalice, Willow Creek, Leadore, and even in places like Soda Springs and Rockland. Okay, it's also going to be getting gusty. So here's Labor Day afternoon, Monday afternoon. You can see we're starting to see some 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts, mostly in the northern end of the Snake River Plain. Here's the high temperatures on Labor Day. You can see it still lets off a little bit, cooler by 1 or 2 degrees, but still very warm, especially in the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. But you can see with the clouds moving in, that also means some lower level moisture moving in, that the humidity is way up, some places not even getting below 20%. Okay, Monday evening, we are looking at solid chance of, that likely line of precipitation is moving to the east, now over Clark County and going through Pocatello and Blackfoot all the way down to Malad City. And you can see the risk of thunderstorms also moving eastward. And you can see it's sort of dying out by Monday evening over the Wood River Valley, Stanley Basin, and the Shoshone area. Here's a chance of rain then for Monday night. The thunderstorm should be over prior to midnight. And you can see, again, it's slowly moving eastward where the greatest threat of rainfall will be. So after midnight, it'll be basically with Spencer to Idaho Falls to Malad City line and eastward to the Wyoming border, whereas elsewhere it's just a chance to, even just a slight chance in places like Burley. The wind gusts during the evening on Labor Day, again 20 to 25 is mostly in the Snake River Plain, all the way, although it does expand all the way through the area, basically from Spencer all in the Upper Snake Highlands all the way down to Craters of the Moon and Cary. And here is the low temperatures for Monday night. You can see it gets a lot colder as skies start to clear, and the maximum humidity Monday night obviously will be way up, lots of places above 80%, especially if, as we expect, it should be raining. And here are the rainfall amounts, storm totals, starting Sunday evening and lasting through late Monday night. See, most locations are anywhere from barely measurable to about 1/10 of an inch, and then the darker green shows where it could be 1/10 to 1/4. That's places mostly in the northern end of the Snake River Plain, like Idaho Falls, Rexburg, and Ashton, or in the higher elevations in the central Idaho Mountains above Stanley, Willow Creek, and Chalice. That's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us at this telephone number here, or check out the weather yourself at weather.gov/Pocatello. Thanks for watching.